So this is the time I got lost in the jungle and almost kidnapped. Okay, so we're gonna run it back to 2016, right? It's spring break, you know, I'm at a new school, just moved to Florida. Shout out Cam. Shout out all my Tampa Bays. But yeah, so we had the bright idea that we were going to go to Puerto Rico for spring break. You know, everyone does Mexico, everyone does a cruise. We want to be different. So, you know, the summer vibe, we were getting a summer vibe early. Like Drake just dropped More Life. We feeling it. Oh, got on the plane, get to the hotel. It's off rip, right? Everything's going smooth. We're drunk in the first hour. On the beach, laid out, passed out, like we're having a great time. We're going hard basically the whole week, like carefree. We know shit's a little weird in Puerto Rico, little safety issues going on. So what we noticed is that in 2016, I think Uber might have been new to Puerto Rico, not really sure, but there was a war going on between the taxi drivers and the Uber drivers. So while we're coming in and out of the hotel, like we're not going too far away from the hotel. Like there's Viejo San Juan and there's Nuevo San Juan, and we're usually staying around in like the Condado area. So we're trying to venture out a little bit further, and they're like, hey, you know, be careful, you know, make sure you grab a taxi and not an Uber. Us being from, you know, the States, we're like, Uber's the most convenient. We all got a phone, it's easy to call versus trying to flag down a taxi. So we're doing this, and like every time we hop in an Uber, they're kind of like, oh, thank you so much for calling me. You know, wherever you want to go, we got you. Like, thank you. We're just like, all right, well, like maybe like Uber's not getting a lot of play out here. We didn't know that they was really beefing with the taxi drivers. So we head out to like fucking Senor Frogs and get fucked up. So at this point, we're trying to flag down a taxi. Like, we're trying our best. It's not really working. We didn't really try that hard. I think we tried like 2 taxis and that was a dub. We're like, fuck it, we're calling an Uber. So we called the Uber, and like they park around the corner or something. And so like we're looking, we can't find it. And so we call the Uber, and he's like, hey, I'm parked in the back alley. Can you meet me over here? We're like, nigga, what? So we're like, yeah, I mean, it's not that deep. I guess we could walk over there. It was a little walk, but it wasn't nothing crazy. So we start walking over there, and he calls us back. He's like, hey, can you hurry up? Like, there's police over here. And we're like, oh shit, like, is something going down? Like, he's just trying to get out of the area. We're like, oh, yeah, we start walking faster. He called us again. He's like, hey, I need you guys to hurry up. There's police over here. And we're like, all right, damn. So now we speed walking through this bitch.
In the women's 20 kilometers race walk.
And we see him, right? So like, we open the car door, and like out of nowhere, a taxi driver hop out of his car and start yelling at us, right? He's like, policia, policia, policia. And he's like pointing at us and like making a beeline straight for us. The police look over at us, and we look at the police, and the Uber just start kind of like moving forward, and we're just like, oh hell. So we taking off down the fucking alley, hop in the Uber and speed off, and we're just like, what the fuck just happened? So the Uber driver kind of like explains to us like, yeah, like the taxi drivers are really mad that like we're taking their business. Like we're not really like I guess they weren't all the way approved to be doing Uber on the island yet. Not really sure, but we were just like, wow, that was fucking weird. Like not us being chased by the police and a random on the street or a random taxi driver over a ride home. But I digress. So that shit was fucking crazy. We did that, forgot about it, go on about our spring break, right? We're getting lit all week. Now we're on a day where we're just like, we just want to relax. Like, we just need to chill. Like, you know, the liquor taking over my body. I can't stand for more than 3 hours. Like, it's just too much. So we had a bright idea. We're like, oh, let's do like a fucking excursion. Like a low key, let's go see the waterfalls at El Yunque, which is like the famous jungle out there. Like, you can go swimming with the waterfalls and whatever. Like, it's cute. So we call Uber. Whatever. So where we were, like, we don't really know the area that well. So we get in the Uber, and it's like an hour-and-a-half drive to get to the jungle. And we're just like, damn, that's kind of crazy. So we're, you know, it's a nice little drive.
That's a drive.
It's like an overcast and everything. I'm like, all right, like, it's not too hot to do this hike. You know, it's still warm enough to, like, get in, like, the water and everything. So we get there. Mind you, we're all hungover from the night before. So we didn't even call this car until, like, afternoon, like, maybe 1 or 2 o'clock. So we get to the jungle around like, I want to say like 3:30. So once we get there, right, we're at the bottom. So the jungle was like in the mountains. We reached the bottom of the mountain, right? And this is where everything just starts feeling weird. And like everything just feels like a bad idea at this point. But we didn't take none of these hints from God. And we were just like, fuck it, we ball. So we start heading up the mountain. And I shit you not, the roads are so skinny. Even the Uber driver was like cussing to himself. He's like, fuck, like, I don't know how the fuck we're gonna make it up here. Like, he's stressing, he's shaking, we're all scared.
As soon as he say, I don't know how we're gonna make it up here, let's just turn around. Because if you from here and don't know, let's just...
Bro, and that's what I was saying in the backseat, but like also, I'm not trying to kill the vibe. So I'm like, you know what?
I'm trying to stay alive. Fuck the vibe.
I was like 19. It's all about the vibe.
What about, it ain't no vibe if you ain't alive.
Fuck it, we ball. That was the motto of the break, bro.
No, it was fuck it, we fall off this mountain.
And we almost did. So it's like a one-way road too to get up and down. So you have to like move to the side if someone's coming down and like be super careful that they don't tip their car over the edge. And like I'm looking over the edge and I'm like, yeah, if we fall off the edge, it's done for us. It wasn't like, no, oh, we're stuck in a ditch or oh, like the car's just fucked. No, we're all fucked. Like we're not surviving this fall type shit. And so we're all scared and like we're all like literally scraping, I'm shit you not, like we're scraping cars to get past each other to get up the mountain. I'm just like, bro, this is fucking insane. So this is where I probably should have said something and voiced my concerns, but like halfway up, I'm looking at my phone and like service is going in and out. And I'm just like, in my head, verbatim in my head, I was like, damn, how we gonna call Uber back? But whatever. I'm like, you know, I'm not gonna fuck with the vibe, whatever, you know? So we get up, we finally make it to where we are. Like, I shit you not, the Uber driver's like having a panic attack. He's like, all right, well, y'all made it, cool. See y'all later, and like leaves. So my naive ass is like, well, I mean, like, I don't think you would drop us off somewhere where we couldn't get back from. Like, I don't know, but we get there and it's like a big parking lot. Like there's families, there's people on tours. So it seems it's real safe, so it seems. So we're like following like this tour. Like we're not in the tour. Like fuck it, we're just gonna follow them because we don't know where the fucking waterfall is. Yeah. So we're following down. It's like you have to go in the fucking jungle, like through the bushes and shit. And thank God we found a tour to follow because we would have been really fucking lost. And like, again, like the trek was like, if you fall, like you're done. Like I'm looking over the edge, holding onto the wall. I'm like, this is a lot. Like this is worse than like California hiking type shit. So we finally make it to the waterfall. It's real cute. It's a bunch of people there. You know, we're soaking in the vibe, in the water, drinking a little bit. Like it's cool. Next thing we know, it's like 5, 6 o'clock and like we're in the jungle, right? There's trees everywhere. So sunlight is like real, it's getting the fuck. It's real getting the fuck out of there. So we're noticing that more groups are like leaving. And so we're still like, you know, we got here late. So we're trying to like, you know, stick it out. It's like the last group is there so we can like follow them back. And so now it's just like our group of, I think it was like 4 of us. And then plus like 3 people from another group. Not even a group, like just were there by themselves. I guess they had a car because they're fucking smart. So we follow them back up. We get to the parking lot. They hop in their whip. They leave. We're all on our phones. No service. Now, mind you, I looked at the mile marker. We're like 20 miles up in the mountain. So I'm like, it's not like you can just like, fuck it. Like we'll just walk down. Like it's what, no, we're 20 miles up.
And you're losing sunlight.
And we're losing sunlight. So, you know, I'm pretty good in stressful situations. So I'm just like, all right, like, you know, some of my friends are like, all right, what the fuck do we do? Like kind of freaking out just a little bit, nothing too crazy. And I'm just like walking around looking for signs. I'm like, there's no way that this is like a, you know, an area that people visit, tourists and like locals. And there's not like a park ranger sign. Found one. Cool. So on the sign, I'm reading it. It's in fucking Spanish. But what it said was, beware of mongooses. Mongoose. I'm like, what the fuck? First of all, I don't even know what a mongoose is. I guess it's just an aggressive ass weasel. It's like, if you see a mongoose, do not run, do not approach, just act like it's not there and just stand the fuck still. And I was like, all right, so there's dangerous animals out here. 1. 2, it says if you get stuck here at night, do not try to walk down. It says hunker down, find shelter, and just wait until sunlight and then try to get home. It was like, once the sun sets, do not fucking move. I was like, I looked out and I was like, well, the sun is setting, bro. It's setting. pretty fucking fast. So now I'm like starting to freak out a little bit. I'm like, all right. So I'm reading. I find a number. I'm like, oh, thank God. So I call the number, right? Like I had a little bit of service, like just a little bit. So it goes through voicemail. I'm like, how is an emergency line going to voicemail? So I call it like 3 more times. Voicemail. I'm like, all right, fuck.
I would have left voicemail 3 times.
I don't even remember if we did. We might have, but I don't remember. But so I'm like, fuck it. At this point, it's an emergency. I'm calling 911. Like, I don't even know if 911 works in Puerto Rico, but I'm calling it. I called them. Voicemail. How the fuck 911 got a voicemail? I'm so confused. I called again. Fucking voicemail. I'm like, all right, this is fucking insane. We wait a little while. We called 911 again, and someone answers. I'm like, oh, thank God. We're like, yeah, we're stuck up here. Like, you know, speak very good English, but, you know, they're trying to help us. Yeah. By the end of the conversation, they were kind of just like, well, I mean, like, if you're stuck in the jungle at night, you know you're just not supposed to move, right? Just stay there. And I was like, so we're just by ourselves at this point. It's just, everyone's kind of like, fuck you. I'm like, all right. So we're just like so we all sit on the bench, just trying to brainstorm. So we're just like, fuck it. Like, we have like maybe a couple hours of sunlight. Like maybe we just like walk down as much as we can. And like, I guess when the sun sets, we just stop moving. So like, fuck it. Like I get like, we're on like fucking.
So you're just gonna be on the side of the mountain on the road that's skinny and cars are touching?
Nigga, we were desperate. We had like I think our flight was the next day or something. Like it was a lot. Lord. This is our last day, yeah. So we're just like, fuck it. Like, we're just gonna make it as far as we can. Maybe if we move fast enough, we'll make it to the bottom. Like, who the fuck knows? And so we start walking, and again, I peep like the mile marker, and I'm just like defeated because it says 20 miles. I'm like, who the fuck is walking 20 miles in 2 hours? Nobody. So we start walking. We make it like not even a quarter mile. We're in a rainforest. So what the fuck happens? It starts raining. Not just raining, like torrential downpour. I'm like. I look at my friends, I'm like, we're not walking. Like, we might as well just go back up. And, like, there's, like, this little tiny awning. So we're like, we might as well just, like, fucking sit there and post up, get comfortable. Who knows? And so we're sitting there. We're all just, like, mad as fuck. Like, we just don't know what to do. We're scared. It's raining. The sun's setting. So out of nowhere, like, I think one of my friends, she was trying to get service because I don't know why she was out on the road. But she was, like, holding up her phone looking for service. And then she sees a car coming down the mountain. So like from afar, like I'm watching her and she's like flagging down the car, damn near runs in front of it, like stop. Like we're like, oh shit, like we don't know what the fuck going on. We're like, what the fuck? So we see her talking to whoever's driving the car, and we're just like, all right, this already look weird. Like me and my one homegirl were like, who has sense, we're like, I hope she don't let me get in that car. Like we don't know these people. And then our other one with sense was also like, well, how we get home? I was like, damn. So she like runs over, she's like, hey, like I found these people, they speak English, like it's all good. Like I told them our situation, they're gonna drive us to the bottom of the mountain and then where we can like call Uber. And I was like, okay, cool. They're like, yeah, they're gonna drop us off like right at the bottom, like where there's like a little like bodega type shit. And I was like, oh, perfect, run it. So I go to the back seat, I open the door and bro, I shit you not. There was so much cat food in the back seat. So much, like I mean like 100 pounds of cat food. Like they were like, oh shit, like they had to clear out the entire back seat, all 3 seats of like huge ass bags of cat food. And I was like, why, like who has that many cats? Why do you have that much cat food?
I guess can't be choosers at this moment.
So my head, like off rip, red flag. I'm like, is this what they feeding the bitches they kidnap? Like I don't know. I seen that on like Discovery ID before. Like I don't it's rubbing me the wrong way. But also, I'm like, God is blessing us with a ride. Like, maybe it's not that deep. So we get in the car, we lap up, and we're driving down the mountain. So they was, you know, all speaking English and shit with it. Like, oh, where you from? Like, how was your day? Like, oh, so sorry you got stuck on the mountain.
So these are guys or women?
It's one girl and one guy. So the guy is, I think the girl is driving and the guy is in the passenger seat, if I remember correctly. And so all English, cool, perfect English. We're great. Out of nowhere, the switch up, boom. Now it's all Spanish. I'm like, all right. So I know enough to get me by. So I'm kind of eavesdropping a little bit. And they're like arguing about where to drop us off. And so like they're going back and forth. They're like, oh, well, no, we could drop them off here. Like I don't know the area. So whatever they were saying was just not the bottom of the mountain. Yeah. They were like, oh, we could go here. Nah, but like they could meet us here and we could go here. And I'm just like, whoa, who's they? Like, who's meeting? Like, what the fuck is going on? So I look at my homegirl next to me and I'm like kind of giving her the look like this don't seem right. And so like I remember like I put my hand on like the door and I'm like we hit the highway at this point. Like we're off the mountain. I'm like, woo, I'm thinking they're gonna slow down. Boom, we hit the highway. I was like, fuck. So like my hands on the door and I'm like, I don't know if I'm gonna survive this tuck and roll. Like I don't know what the fuck to do. So I'm just like, and I can't leave my friends, even if I do want to try this tuck and roll. So we just wait. I'm like, we're stronger in a group, I guess. So we make it, like, we're in the car for like fucking 20 minutes. We make it to like this strip mall and they drop us off and they're like, yeah, all right, so there's like, it'll be easy to find a taxi or an Uber here. Like there's more service here. They're like, better yet, there's a tattoo shop at the end of the strip mall. If you go there and ask for so-and-so, they'll give you a phone. I was like, what? And they're like, yeah. Like, we've been knowing them for a while. Like, if you just go there, they'll help you out. They'll help you get home. And I was like, I looked at them. I was like, we not going to that tattoo shop. I was like, we got
phones.
I was like, we got phone. We're going to figure it out. Like, so we go to, like, there's, like, a couple bars on the strip, a couple stores, and we start going into, like, each one, not the fucking tattoo shop. And every time we went in, we got some sketchy-ass answer, and we asked for help. Like, hey, like, our phone's not working. Can we use yours? We don't got a phone. In 2016, you don't got a fucking phone. Cool. Next. Can you help us out? We're trying to get home. Nah, we don't got Wi-Fi. We don't got a phone. I'm like, okay. And the craziest part about every stop that we would ask, they would keep directing us to that tattoo shop. Like, oh, well, if you go to the tattoo shop, they got a phone there. Is everyone in on this shit? Like, I'm so confused. So we go to this bar, asking the same thing, get the same answer. I'm like, nah, I'm not going to the fucking tattoo shop. At this point, I'm drinking. So I ordered I'm so fucking stressed out. I get a drink. I'm sitting there, sipping my shit, waiting for service to come back. Nothing's working. By the grace of God, somebody had enough service to call a car. The Uber was like probably 30 minutes away, 35 minutes away. And we're just sitting there waiting. And we're just like, well, we hope that they actually show up. Man, God was really looking out because he pulled up and we ran to the car, closed it, we got the fuck up out of there. And like as we're leaving, like we're noticing like everyone's just kind of like looking at us. Like I know we kind of stand out, but like not really. Like when you think about the demographic in Puerto Rico, like we could all be Puerto Rican. Like, yeah. So it's not like we're like these like stark white people walking through like looking like we don't belong. I'm like, we look like not that far out. So they're all just like staring at us and I'm like, damn. I'm looking back like, yeah, y'all ain't get us today. But yeah, so we made it home safe and sound and almost missed our flight the next day, but
why did y'all almost miss y'all flight?
Bro, the Puerto Rican airport was insane. Y'all thought Miami was bad, LAX was bad. We get there like 2 hours before our flight's supposed to take off. There's a line wrapped around like TSA for like, I swear you, a mile. We get there, nobody in line speaks Spanish, but everybody there speaks Spanish. So like now it's extra long because now you got to translate each other's shit. At a certain point, we just like sat on the ground. Like we're like, well, we not going nowhere. And then like we made it to our flight with like maybe 5 minutes before they closed the fucking door. It was rough.
All right.
But I do it again.
That was all right. You got questions, Ro?
Yeah. Why?
Why what?
Just everything. Why must y'all go through the pain and hassle of this stuff? I don't understand it.
Because fuck it, we ball. You don't fuck up the vibe just because something feels a little off at 19.
Yes, you do.
Y'all almost had to spend the night in the rainforest. Y'all had to hitchhike. Y'all was scared to go to the tattoo shop.
I was fully prepared to do everything but the tattoo shop. Anything but that.
And then you start drinking in a situation you need to be sober just in case you think you're going to be trafficked.
Bro, at that point, if I'm going to, like, it felt like there was no way out. If I'm going to be trafficked, I need to be drunk for this. I don't want to be sober for this. Because in the position we were in, there was no way out regardless. So I'm like, you know what? I need to calm down. I need a drink.
Last question. Did you ever ask them what all this cat food is for?
No.
That's what I would ask once I got out.
But I also looked it up, and it is like used in sex trafficking sometimes, like to feed people in transport. Like it's cheap.
Cat food?
Cat food, yeah. Like it's cheap. If you hungry, like, why would I stop at McDonald's if I could give you this cat food I got in the trunk?
Cat food.
That's trash.
What you gonna do? Argue with a trafficker? Oh, like, can I get a burger? Nigga, no.
Well, I eat pussy, so I'm telling you I eat cat food.